Welcome to another episode of ResiWeek. This is your weekly wrap-up of all the latest news and stories for the residential AV industry. I'm your host, Matt D. Scott, for AVNation.tv. Today we are, I feel like I'm A, underdressed and B, underqualified for this, but today I'm joined by the great Vin Bruno, the CEO of CEDIA. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I am doing very well, thank you for asking. And I should dress up for every AVNation opportunity I get. But I'll tell you later why I am so dressed up.
I have no problem with it. I'm amazed Tim hasn't made me wear a suit yet. And then, of course, we've got my good friend Jeremy Glowacki, the editor of Residential Systems. How are you, sir?
Great, Matt. You did a great job with my last name there. We didn't even rehearse that.
I didn't butcher it? Yes.
No, you did great. And by the way, I think I am kind of dressed up. This is a wicking material.
Ooh.
So, if I get sweaty with, your tough questions, I can handle it. Yeah.
They will be tough, and I should have done that because it is sweltering where we are right now. My AC cannot keep up. I got to say, it's a little disappointing because I didn't think I lived in the Deep South, but seems I do. Let's kick this off as I just pull this up real quick. Coming to us from The Verge, LG is investing a boatload of money, $1.7 billion, to produce flexible OLED phone screens. Gentlemen, this is kind of a big deal because LG has been one of the main proponents and one of the biggest pushers of OLED technology, but this is still OLED strictly for phone screens. What does this mean for the residential industry because it's just phone screens? Does this reach out anything beyond that for us? Then I'm going to kick that to you to start.
Going to Vin?
I think it does. I mean, I'm sorry, to Jeremy or Vin?
No, to Vin, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll actually carry into the home. Screens on flexible screens can actually go be placed in different area, curvatures on corners and things of that nature. A $1.7 billion investment on screens for phones, I view it as a continued investment for residential technology.
At what point are we going to see moving beyond, say, just the second screen? Because we've got our main viewing surfaces, and we've got our second screen, which is usually a mobile or a tablet. At what point, I know Samsung this year had a fairly large screen in a fridge. Jeremy, how quickly down the road do you see these third and fourth screens utilizing technology like this becoming prevalent and more involved in the residential space?
Well, I think that you brought up a good point with the appliance application, because I do think that you see more and more kitchen appliances integrating smart technologies, Internet of Things technologies. That was sort of the distraction for me at CES this year. I kind of went with an open mind, a macro view of technology and IoT in particular, and didn't really have an agenda that was, when I go to CEDIA, I have a full schedule of meetings back to back, like 15-minute, no breaks in between. I didn't do that so much at CES, and I found myself gravitating toward all of these kitchen type appliances, and I could see where that long awaited screen in the refrigerator door could perhaps be an application for OLED. I don't know about heated surfaces and things like that, but there's a lot of opportunity for integrating with control of any sort using something that's really thinly designed, and it's not going to have a back box type of situation that you have to deal with in the embedding of that technology. The wraparound flexibility part of it. As far as I'm understanding this, it's a flexibility that's built into a permanent curve, right? We're not talking about something that's going to be necessarily in these phones. They're embedding it within a curved hardware piece, right? Is that
Yeah, I
what we're
believe
thinking
so.
there? So it's just
Hmm.
enabling that to probably be a lighter weight design and be able to be more functional without having to build some kind of a, you know, other kind of technology behind it to allow that curving to take
Hmm.
place, right? Um,
Yeah.
so specifically the curving, I think it's more about the OLED product development
Hmm.
opportunities, just the investment in that technology. I'm sure that will trickle into, I'm not going to say down to, but trickle into other areas because it's such a huge investment.
Well, and that's kind of where I see it. I
Hmm.
see it as just another, continued investment by these manufacturers of these technologies to making these products more affordable and bring those costs down and allow, you know, other companies to utilize their products to continue to build it, um, which I think is going to be a huge point for that. Um, this week, coming to us from Strategy, and our good friends Ted Green over there, um, CEDIA announced the finalists for their best new products. Uh, this is the finalists that are selected. You can check this out over at strata-g.com. Um, Vin, this is something that obviously you guys have done for quite a long time.
Hmm.
Um, how do you guys go about selecting these? Are these nominated? Um, how does the voting work? What really qualifies a product to be selected like this?
Well, I mean, we have a call for product nominations,
Mhm.
and there's an application process and submission, and sorry about that, gentlemen. It's my background for my computer here. Um, and companies, they proudly come out and submit for these awards. And it's interesting, right? Ted's article was terrific. Did they get it right?
Mhm.
And the thing that you find is, know, you never fully get it right. When you get an opportunity to walk up and down the show floor, or I got called out, following this announcement saying, "Hey,
Mhm.
I missed my opportunity," and the fact is, I mean, we communicate in so many ways, so many times that the awards nomination is you know running, and that we need submissions, and always somebody inevitably will miss the deadline or miss it altogether. And then you start to talk to these folks, and you find out, wow, that's some great product that got missed this year. That's
Mhm.
the part that I feel like, wow, I wish we could really get it right, find a way that we chase this down. um, but I'll tell you, here's like a business case for these awards. Last year, a company called Dynaquip Controls, they make automated valves, and they won a best product for their water cup automatic water shutoff.
Mhm.
And let me tell you the result of that victory. That I got a phone call from the president of a reinsurance company,
Mhm.
just based on that product alone, and the consumer awareness that was created now through the insurance industry, that CEDIA and its members automate homes to mitigate their risks for and by the way, it's billions of dollars in risks in this
Right.
country for water damage, theft, burglary, and fire. Billions of dollars in risks. That's what we mitigate, those risks for, at least the insurance companies in this country alone.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's quite an amazing list that we have this year. I can also add to it that the whole show floor, there's a bundle of award-winning products not even on this list.
Well, and that's always the thing, right? When you walk the show floor, you find so many things in not only the big booths from the guys you expect to see, really cool and really effective products, but you find so many small booths in the back, and first time guys that are coming in the showcases and whatnot, bringing those products that either solve a problem or just to help you get your work done faster. And they're always there. And as I scroll through this list, we've got the kind of normal, if you will, sexy products like the Sony Ultra HD TVs, but then you've also got from Rosewater Energy Group a residential energy management hub, which, let's be honest, doesn't necessarily sound that sexy, but it's something that can be very, very effective in the home. Jeremy, not to tout on what they missed, but this is one of those things of you can find something or see something that again is either an award winner or even not even nominated, but you can find those super cool products that really help integrators not only service their companies but hopefully be even more profitable. That's kind of what these lists can help achieve, correct?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's just a great guide for the show to start with. I mean, it's just a starting point, and you're going to find companies. There's going to be, diamond in the rough kind of situation like Ben was describing there, where you just didn't even know about this company when you went in, and suddenly it's like the talk of the show because it's such a problem solver. Or, these companies are so busy getting their products ready, they may not have the marketing and PR ready to go right behind it quite a bit at a time. They're startups. And it's great that CEDIA has become kind of a startup show. It's not just CES where you can go find a company that's really developing something innovative and knows that the professional installation kind of, I guess, audience is what they need to target first. Jason Griffin, who's been a guest on the podcast for quite a bit, wrote for us today. Wrote a blog for us for Residential Systems, and he was citing the number of Internet of Things types of products or DIY even products. Amazon Echo, the Arrow Wi-Fi system, Lutron's Connect Bridge, which is more of a consumer product, and the Sonos Play 5.
Of course.
So. Yeah. It's great that these companies are at CEDIA. It's great they're getting recognition, and I think it's just showing that it's a broader, bigger world than just this custom channel that we've thought about CEDIA being for so many years. And he makes a great case that we need to embrace all of this and understand all of this for the clientele that we serve as an industry. So when things are a good solution, when things can be built off of, and when things are maybe not a perfect fit because they can't integrate well with other products that are more robust for the channel. So I think this is just a good starting point with that list, though, for sure.
And isn't that something, just to kind of pull on that thread for a second, isn't that something that we're seeing definitely CEDIA embrace, but also kind of promoting that their members embrace? The concept that DIY isn't necessarily bad, because it selling someone, for example, that Sonos Play 5, that first sale may not seem like it traditionally fits with your custom integration model, but it can open the door to either a lifelong customer, or you can come in and explain how that system or that device plays with everything else that they may want to look at. Vin, has that been a conscious effort on behalf of CEDIA, or is that something that has just kind of evolved as that DIY market has continued to grow?
I've said this certainly to my staff and members. Over the last 25 years, technology has grown linearly. But now, and for the next 5 years, we're going to see exponential growth in technology. And the fact of the matter is that homeowners, they want a single point of contact for their technology. And while they may enjoy running out to a Home Depot or Lowe's, or now you can go to New York City and see the Sonos retail store and buy your Sonos, they're not necessarily inclined to actually do it themselves. They may want to buy it themselves, but they want it done DIFM, do it for me. And we, as an industry, we do have to change. We have to recognize that technology is ubiquitous, and that we're not just home technology integrators anymore, that we have to be managers of home
Hmm.
technology, and there's a big difference.
Oh, there's a huge
And
difference.
and by the way, Sonos, Amazon, they have done a heck of a job of creating consumer awareness for the CEDIA channel. These guys
Oh
are
yeah.
running TV commercials, during the Super Bowl, during the Grammys, and homeowners are hitting the CEDIA site to find people to come and design, install, upgrade, and repair their technology. So it's
Well,
driving business.
yeah, because I think that's one of the biggest things that sometimes gets missed by, dare I say, the old guard.
Yeah.
The the fact that young people, even 40 and below, are comfortable with technology doesn't necessarily equate with them wanting to DIY it. Just as you said, they may want to go purchase it, but that still doesn't always mean that they want to go hang that plasma on the wall and then put their soundbar below it. They still are looking for, someone to be their concierge to help them, put all the pieces together. And I think that's great that CD is helping to promote that. Um,
Yeah.
let's jump over to another
Well,
article.
well, really,
Sorry.
very quickly, let me just
Yeah.
add that I've told the story of one of our home technology professionals being called to a home. It was a referral from another homeowner that had worked with this home technology professional, and
Hmm.
he got the call at 7 o'clock at night to go to a home that had three Nest thermostats that were installed by a plumber. Okay,
Okay.
nice job on the installation. They were fine on the wall.
Hmm.
The boiler was wired properly, but those three thermostats were not working. The homeowner was cold, and from 7:30, 2.5 hours later,
Hmm.
that home technology professional got those three installed Nest thermostats working. So it is not so DIY if it takes a professional two and a half
Oh yeah.
hours to fix up three installed thermostats. That home technology professional, by the way, after having coffee with that homeowner who was so grateful,
Hmm.
walked away with more than 10,000 pounds in new orders. This happened in England. So
Mm.
the idea of us having the opportunity to engage with a homeowner for whatever their technology needs are leads to new business because we have an opportunity then to educate them on the things they don't know about the
Right.
lifestyle they can have with technology.
Yeah. Very, very, very true. Um, switching gears, this year, or sorry, not this year, this week, or last week, I should say, this made fairly big news with Vizio, and this comes to us from Residential Systems and Twice magazine. Um, Vizio was sold to the massive Chinese technology company Lel Elco. I'm probably not pronouncing that at all correctly. Um, but Vizio has been one of those firms that has started up and made huge inroads in the last 15 years or so. Jeremy, what does this mean, if anything, to firms that are selling Vizio, and for clients and dealers alike?
Well, I'm not a Wall Street Journal writer, so I don't have the depth of the business, acumen. But I do, from what I understand, that Vizio needed some cash, and
Hmm.
they were looking for an investment to continue on their path toward creating products, and had made a lot of inroads after basically being founded by a guy in Silicon Valley who was, a Taiwanese American who mortgaged his house to start the company
Hmm.
and took it to one of the top TV brands, using Costco and Walmart channels and things like that. But last year we had Vizio at CEDIA, and their pro premium line there, which is pretty impressive, 4K
Hmm.
stuff. And I think that from a business standpoint, it's a giant investment in continuing this brand's growth. I mean, there's probably a lot more to it in terms of where this this company in China is going to bring products into the United States, and they apparently are a content provider like a Netflix over there, kind of an Apple type of company as well. It's quite a lot of opportunity that they get their foothold here with, and they needed a better TV brand. They didn't really have an established. They had something, but it wasn't going to make an inroad into the competitive landscape of flat panel TVs, and now they've got it. So I think it just basically, gives Vizio even more firm footing because of the great influx of cash.
Well, yeah, because it's pretty much allowing them, from what I'm reading, it's allowing them to just continue to invest into their business model. Using, as you said, that influx of cash. Vin, does the fact that it's a locally started company, does the fact that it's now being operated as a wholly owned subsidiary of the Chinese firm, does that change anything for dealers going forward?
No, I don't think so. There's probably the opportunity to, offer up new products from it. But I had the good fortune to meet William Chen last year at our show.
Mm-hmm.
He came to my booth, and it was a very quick appointment. I didn't know who he was, but I knew he was someone important because people around us kept taking pictures. And so I said, so William, how can I help you? After about 20 minutes of formality, I said, how can I help you? He goes, I need somebody to hang my TVs. And I said, okay, well, we have the channel to be able to hang your TVs. And I took a look at his card, and I see that he's the chairman of Vizio, and he was very progressive in his thinking, in that I recommended that we insert in every package a card that states have this equipment installed by a CEDIA home technology professional. And he sells 9 million TVs a year. He's got quite the operation. So I did a follow-up meeting with him at his headquarters in Southern California, and his facilities are just drop-dead gorgeous. So from what I know about this transaction is it was too much money to turn down. And the structure of the deal is that the company is now owned not by William Chen, that he gets to retain 51% ownership of another technology company that he has, and Lico, is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
How do you pronounce the company? Okay.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. They own 100% of Vizio, and 49% of Mr. Chen's other company.
Right.
So and from what I hear, that in the press conference, Mr. Chen, William was quite somber about the whole thing, that it was the right amount of money at the right time, and that there were people all around him that worked very hard to build the company that deserved, this deal the way it's structured.
Right. Yeah, and I view it just as a good thing. It's it's a feel-good story that an entrepreneur started something and is now getting rewarded quite well for what he's doing, and his brand continues to just grow and be a phenomenal part of not only our channel but the consumer electronics channel in general.
So Matt, just a little side story, that company that Vin brought up that he owns, the majority stake in, that I don't know if you read any further on that particular venture,
I did not know.
It apparently is, it's trying to create a kind of, I would say, for lack of a better word, an algorithm or something that's going to track streaming media usage. So it adds an advertising kind of component there for, right now there's really no ratings when it comes to viewership on Netflix and online media, streaming media. So his idea, I believe, is to try to be able to monetize the viewership of that, which could screw up programming eventually, because right now it's like the Wild West. Everybody's just putting up great content because there's nobody telling them that it's not getting viewership. It's just successful, according to HBO Go or, Showtime. I mean, whatever it is, they just have to kind of make a judgment call on it, and it's subjective, which is great for viewers. But, from an advertising standpoint, you never know really what you're supporting and how many eyeballs you're getting. So it's kind of an interesting thing to watch and see how that affects the content side of things,
Well, and I would think it can also, that has the potential to expand into the TV side of the market as well, because if he's able to quantify things as they're rolling out software updates and different player features, having that information can extend backwards that way as well. Let's finish up real quick with essentially the reason Vin is outdressing both of us so well today. You had a meeting today with Mr. Cheng K. Pak, who was awarded the 2016 CEDIA Lifetime Achievement Award. He is the president and CEO of URC, and as I said, was this year's Lifetime Award recipient. Then this is, pretty much all of us have had experience with URC. URC is kind of one of those companies that, in my personal opinion, it's that company that everybody kind of starts down the path of automation with, and really plays an integral role in integrators' business life. Why did you select Mr. Pak for this? And just tell us a little bit about him and what he's achieved.
First, it was an honor to meet him today. I really I thoroughly enjoy visiting manufacturing companies and touring their facilities, and excuse me one second. So we made an appointment to meet today, and their headquarters is in Harrison, New York, just 32 miles from where I live. And Mr. Park is quite a progressive thinker. So here's this company that started 27 years ago. He had the foresight to know that that home automation, home theater were going to be, terrific businesses, and men like Mr. Park don't speak in the now. They speak in the future. Even though I was with him in the present, we were speaking in terms of where the market is moving and what the opportunities would be and what the convergences are between. He specifically cited security, and no one else talks like this. I mean, there have been others, like you had mentioned earlier, Mr. Spear of Lutron, Mr. Feldstein of Crestron. These men are the Thomas Edisons of our age, and we're so fortunate to have had them and to continue to have them with a man like Mr. Park. And I promise everyone that you'll get the chills, right, when you see him receive his Lifetime Achievement Award, because he so deserves it. So I can say this: it's not only for the contributions that he has made, but the contributions that URC will make because of his progressive thinking.
Right. Very good. First of all, thank you, gentlemen, for coming. The last thing I want to do just before we wrap this up is CEDIA is just around the corner. I myself, unfortunately, most likely won't be there. I've got a baby on the way that's going to make that a little tough. But Vin, just give us the dates and where to register and all that information for anyone who somehow doesn't already know that.
Matt, I seem to have lost. Oh, could you repeat what you just said? I lost audio for a bit there.
Wasn't important.
Yeah, not a big deal. CEDIA is right around the corner. For anyone
Mhm.
who somehow doesn't know where it is, how to get there, how to register, just give us a quick little insight on that, and definitely why integrators need to be there.
Oh my goodness.
Just say you're
CEDIA,
there. You're
CEDIA.net.
there. That's why.
Yeah. Right. Well, no, I mean, first of all, a trade show is where the industry converges. It represents the industry. We've got more networking opportunities at times that are convenient uh, for our members. The keynote, very important. Shelley Palmer, he is the technology specialist for Fox, for CNN, and he talks business and he understands our channel. It will be the finest keynote speech that I think that we've heard in many, many years. So that's Wednesday night. The
Very good.
Lifetime Achievement Award will be uh, we will have that celebration just before the keynote on Wednesday, the night before the show starts. On day one of the show, right that evening, we have our CD Awards and celebration, and it will be hosted by Carly Knobloch, who is from HGTV. She's the technologist for HGTV.
Mhm.
She is so smart. It's going to be a wonderful event and a long evening of networking, fun, awards celebration. And those winners, those award winners, will have the opportunity to be interviewed and celebrated for the rest of the show, days 2 and 3. That's a
Right.
big change from years past where we had our awards and our banquet on the last day after the show was over.
Right.
So
Fantastic.
please register quickly. You won't want to miss it. We'll have 20,000 of our friends at our show, and it's an opportunity to be with your community.
Definitely, definitely. I'm always a huge proponent of trade shows, and that you can't get that same experience anywhere else. But gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me and joining us on the show. Jeremy, where can people connect with you?
Well, on Twitter, at ResiEditor. Our website's residentialsystems.com. And like us on Facebook, ResiSys, SYS.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Vin, again, thank you so much for joining us and making me look underdressed. I appreciate it. Where can people connect with you?
Well, reach me at any time at vbruno@cedia.org. And I just want to give you a shout out to the registration. It's
Yeah,
actually expo.cedia.net. That's where you
gotcha.
want to go to register for our show.
And that's expo.cedia.net. For myself, if you'd like to follow me, you can always find me at Matt D. Scott, as well as pretty much on any other social platform just like that. But most importantly, please stop by AVNation.tv. You'll find this show, as well as a wide variety of all our other shows that cover all the other markets and verticals that we're interested in. When you visit the site, please make sure you check out our underwriters page. They help support us and allow us to do what we do, and we'd like it if you support them as well. Thanks again for watching, and that's all the time we have for ResiWeek.